We know of people who claim that they are God or God's men. We know of people who claimed that they are sons of God and incarnations of God, who had claimed that they have got divine powers and can bring good and evil to people, who had claimed that they can predict the future, perform miracles, and cure illness. Our dear messenger, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, never claimed that he is God or son of God. He never claimed that he has got divine powers or can bring good and evil to people. He never claimed that he can predict the future, perform miracles, and cure diseases on his own. He never told anybody to paint his picture and garland it. He never told anybody to erect his idol and worship it. On the contrary, he told them to pray for him and for his family. He told them he's first the servant of God and then the messenger of God. And on his deathbed, with tear-filled eyes, our dear prophet prayed to Almighty Allah, "Oh Allah, my followers, Muslims, should not attribute divinity to me. They should not call me God as Christians are doing about Jesus Christ." And when death was near him, he did not pray to save him from his illness. He did not pray to give him a longer life. On the contrary, he prayed to Allah, "Oh Allah, my grave should not be made an idol of worship. Allahumma la taj'al qabri wathanan yu'bad." If he was a false prophet, he would not have done that. And Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wanted a son, and Allah blessed him with a son. He was named Ibrahim, but Ibrahim died when he was 1.5 years. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam carried a little boy in his hands and said, "Oh Ibrahim, I am so sad about your death. My eyes are filled with tears and my heart is filled with grief. Still, I will not utter a word against you." On that day, there was an eclipse. And people thought that the eclipse occurred because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's son died. Naturally, they attributed divinity on him. The prophet could have utilized this as a golden opportunity to claim divinity. He could have told them, "Yes, the eclipse occurred because my son died." But the prophet did not say that. Even when his heart was filled with grief, he went to people and told them, "Look, this eclipse is a natural phenomenon. And all natural phenomena are creation of God. And it has got nothing to do with the death of my son." If he was a false prophet, he would not have said so. And what material gains did prophet made out of his prophethood? When prior to his prophethood, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a rich man, a happily married man, and a successful trader. But after becoming the prophet of Allah, after getting revelations, and after people started recognizing him as a prophet, he had to suffer undescribable persecution and agony. He had to flee his homeland and live as a refugee in a distant land. And after the Meccan victory, when he was the uncrowned emperor of Arabia, undisputed spiritual leader, and one of the greatest command of the time, he led a very ordinary life. He mended his shoes and stitched his dress. He swept the floor, kindled the fire, milked the goat. His food was dates and water, and he slept on palm leaves. The house from where the light was spread throughout the world was in darkness because there was no oil in the lamp. And once, his dear daughter Fatima radiallahu anha approached the prophet and said, "Dad, look at my hands, it is full of bruises doing household work. Look at my shoulders, they are marks carrying buckets full of water. Look at my dress, it is full of dirt and soil. So kindly give me a servant." Even this genuine request of his dear daughter was refused by our dear prophet. And the garment in which he breathed his last was torn and had many patches. And on the day he died, the only remainings were a few coins. A part went to satisfy a debt, and the remaining was given to a person who came for help. And at the age of 62, When Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam left the world was at his feet, but not a dinar to his credit. That was Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Still critics allege he was a false prophet. Why? Quran is a revelation from Almighty Allah, and Islam is the religion acceptable to Allah. And Islam is the only religion that teaches man what is justice and what is injustice. How can a true Muslim commit atrocities even against enemies when the glorious Quran says in chapter 5 verse 8, let not your hatred make you depart from justice and commit atrocities. If we want real peace and tranquility, justice and progress, we have to turn to Islam.